Hi there, here I am back at the work table, and what we're looking at is the front cover, and I'm going to attach the front cover to the sewing machine, the heavy-duty sewing machine. And now that I've established that there are some plastic gears and there are some metal gears, that question has been settled. I've oiled the machine, I've greased it, I've doubled, for a second time I've confirmed where the parts that I need to maintain are, like the bushings and the gears and all that sort of stuff. And so now I'm ready to close the machine up inside the covers again, so I can comfortably sew without catching any of my material on the interior steel frame. So here we go. Here's the start of another fun video. Now, in order to attach the front cover and secure it to the sewing machine, there are 4 places where it attaches and needs to be secured. So I'll start at this one right down here first, because it's kind of front and center. And what you'll see there is a screw, and the head of the screw is at the bottom, and the point of the screw goes up into the frame right there. I'll show you another screw location. There's also a screw right here, and there's a clip on the front cover, and it goes there. So now that's 2 of them. I'll show you 2 more. This is the 3rd location where the front cover attaches to the sewing machine body. And this is rather different or unique, because what happens with this screw hole here is that this screw is inserted into the inside of the machine, and then the point of the screw comes out through this hole. So it doesn't go in this way, it comes out from the inside, and the head, you can't see it once it's inserted correctly, but that's where the screw comes out of the frame. And here is where the screw that I just showed you, it's going to come through the frame, which is going to be in front of this hole. And once it comes through the frame, it will be inserted into that hole and tightened that way. So we'll tighten this part to the frame, to the outside of the frame. So that's the 3rd one. This location here is the 4th position, 4th place, where the outside cover connects to the body of the machine. And what is going to end up happening is this is going to come down like that, and it's going to be placed like that. But I'll do that one last, after I kind of have all the other 3 done first. At least that's how I think I'm going to do it. So that's the 4 of them. Now, the other thing I'm doing first, before I even put that front cover on, is I'm putting the bed on the sewing machine. And the bed has that stainless steel plate, we'll see it in a minute, where the cloth slides over. And the screw to attach the bed to the body of the machine is right here. So I've got that inserted, and I'm going to start tightening that screw. Now that screw, if you'll recall when we took it apart, it has a small head. So I'm using a small screwdriver. There, it's snugged up there now, and I'll just leave it just gently tight. I'll call it gently tight. So that's done. And here you can see it safely in position. So now that I have that on, I'm going to find out if I can put the front cover on now with that in position. There. I think that I can, but we'll find out. So at this end of the front cover, there's a couple of places where I have to slide the front cover onto brackets that have screws on them on the machine. Here's one place where the screw will go. I will slide that onto a little, what I'll call a screw bracket. The screw is already there actually. I left it in there, as I always try to. So that's where the one will go. And then the other one is down here. And that will go down at the bottom of the machine over here. So there's the two screws that I have to do there. And then, as we already mentioned, there'll be another screw that comes out here. So that screw will go into the inside of the cover. And then we have that little adjustment screw on the outside of the machine down there underneath the hand wheel. And that'll be the fourth place. Right? Yeah, right. So in order to replace the cover, first what I do is I let the cover kind of hang on top of where the switches go. And here's the reverse lever. And here's the one tab that I have to slide underneath that screw in there. And also, this is one of our thread guides, this piece right here. So it's connected to the screw that I have to slide that little plastic tab into. So it gets to, and then I have to kind of pull it down a little, if I can, which I can. And it's started to go somewhat close to the position that it needs to be. I have to lower this a little bit, and then I'll get the tab at the hand wheel end, I'll get that lined up, and then I'll do this, up this screw, the one on the bottom, and the one from the inside. That's my plan anyway. This is the first time I'm doing this. It's, you know, kind of like the first time I'm sailing across the ocean here for me. But you know what? It's right here on my desk. I think I'll be able to do it. Check it out. Okay, so the great experiment is going along wonderfully. However, I discovered that with having the bed plate already tightened, it was difficult to get the top lip of the front cover underneath the bottom lip of the bed plate. So I've loosened that screw. I took it right out and I put it in my metal container, my magnetic container, and I'm going to go ahead and get the front cover lined up, ready for installation, and see that it clears the bottom of the bed plate. And then once I get it down there and it's in the correct position, I'll tighten up the bed plate and then tighten up the front cover. So that's my strategy now. So here we are, and this screw is on this place where it has to tighten onto the front cover, and it seems to be in the correct position, so I'm going to do this one first, right now. Here you can see the bed plate, and it is still loose. I took that screw out and I raised the bed plate enough so I've got plenty of clearance to get this under there, and I'll tighten this, and then we'll do the bed plate, and then I'll go up here and do a screw there. I'll make sure it's good on this end, and then I'll go inside from the back and insert the screw in there. So that's what's going on now. Are you having fun yet? Because I sure am. So here I am just tightening that bottom screw now. And that's nice and snug, nice and tight. Then I'm going to reposition this in its correct position. There, and it's snapped into place. So now I can go underneath and put that screw back in and tighten the bed plate. So I've got the bed plate screw started, and I'm just going to tighten it now. There, that's nice and snug there. I'm happy with that. So there's this screw now. And I'm going to make sure that thread guide is level and square, which I think it is, and I've tightened that screw. Just like that. So there's the thread guide, there's the screw right here on the front cover. Next, I'm going to turn the machine around and go in the back and tighten the screw into the other side of this cover. And that'll be the last one. We've got 3 of them done already. Now we're going to do the 4th one. So 4 points of securing the front cover to the frame. Okay, we're getting after it. Here is the screw that has to go in there, and here is the access hole for the screwdriver to tighten the screw in there. So we'll get started on that now. Now the way I'm going to do this is, it's awkward to get the screw in there and get the screw seated. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing the needle nose pliers on the floor, and that's not helping. So I've got them now. So what I'm doing is I'm grasping the screw like that. Then I have to go behind this spring and a couple of other things. And there I've got it kind of seated in. So being a little bit blind now, and I'm looking down, and I'm trying to get the screwdriver in there. And it's a little difficult. You know why it's difficult? Because the pliers are magnetic, and I can't set the head of the screw in the hole and then loosen the pliers and pull them out, because even when they're loose, they want to pull the screw out with the magnetism. So we'll go back in again. And I'll see. Well, that didn't work. There's a screw on the pliers still. And unfortunately, the screwdriver isn't magnetic enough to put the screw on the end of the screwdriver and then screw it in. I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, I've decided to go at this the other way. I put the machine down, and here is the hole where the screw has to go in. You can see that little screwdriver right in the threads of where that screw has to go. Right there, right, the screw's got to go right in there. So now, even with the needle nose pliers, I can keep everything flat and stable, and I can see a lot better from this position as well. So I'm expecting that I'll be able to put the point of the screwdriver into the head of the screw and have everything come out like peachy keen, man. Let's see how I make out this time. Okay, we'll have a go at it. So I've got the head of the screwdriver in there, screw in there, but I can't rightly see the head of the screw. You know what, my friends? We're in business. That screw is going into the front cover. So that's in there snug. So now the front cover is on and the bed is on. Now I got to do the back cover and the top and then the end cover. But before I get to that other stuff, there's something else I'd like to show you. And what I'd like to show you is me putting the stitch length selector on. And that is on. And now I'm going to get the stitch selector knob and put it on. Like that. So those are working good. You know what I might do now? I might put the bottom on. Well, let me take a look. I'll think about that. I'll get back to you. Okay, this time I remembered to turn the camera on after I forgot. So here's the feed dog. This switch lowers the feed dogs. They're in the normal high position here. If I wanted to lower the feed dogs for freehand, I would move it over to that way, but I'm not going to do that. Here, this goes like that. And now I can put the screws in and get this attached again. This is kind of like assemble by numbers, paint by numbers, except for assembling instead of painting. Look at that left hand work. So now I'm going to get the little screwdriver and just snug them up a bit. Good. And good. Now we're going to get the big kahuna bottom on. And look at what we got now. Huh? I'm telling you. Now I got all the tape off the screws. I'm going to start with that one right in the middle at the top. So he says. They're dropping the screws all over the place. Way to go, Jebb. Ay, ay, ay. So that's 3 screws in now, so I'm halfway home. I got 3 more to do, and then 2 more covers to do after that. I seem to be having an issue there. I'll go for the top one. Okay, that was tight. There we go. We got number 6 grabbing now. There, you can get rid of that. Okay, I'm back with you again, and I have the back with you. I got you back. So here's where I have to attach this. Like this, there's a screw there, there's a screw there, and then there's one down there underneath the bed plate. Actually, where is it? Is it there? No, it's not there. It's there. Yeah, right there. So I'm hoping that I don't have to undo the bed plate again. But if I do, that's no big deal. I've had lots of practice taking it on and off, so it's not going to be an issue if I gotta take it out of here. Like I said, you know, these are virgin seas for me. This is the first time I'm ever attaching the back to the sewing machine, so I'm going to have some fun here. I'll get my bracket, my brace. I'll put that like that. And I might see if I can do the bottom first. Here's the cutouts for the switch and the cord, the receptacle. And they're there now. I can see them right there. Lower left-hand corner. And I'm going to have to release the bed plate again before I live this adventure, I think. So I'll get back to you. Okay, I have not released the bed plate. There's enough play here and enough slack that I can do that. So I'm going to be able to get that to clear correctly. So I'll get the back cover on again and go for the screws and all that stuff. Okay, this screw has to come out. Where's those magnetic pliers? Right there. So let me line that up again. Okay, I think we're good. It's all flush down here, it's all correct there. So I'm going to put this screw in now, which is right here with my magnetic screwdriver head. And that's snug already. That was a short screw. Pardon me. You know what, I couldn't help myself, I couldn't resist it. So where am I going now? Do I have anything else down here? Yes, I do, I've got one right there. Okay, I got some light, and there's the screw on the screwdriver, and I just tightened it, but I had forgotten to turn the camera on. So I'm just this is a live reenactment now. Now it's being filmed, so that's good. We're good here, and we're good up there, and we're all cool there. So I can move that out of the way. I'll get back to you, as usual. So I dropped the other throat plate screw. So I'm just going to put this one in for now, because I still have to locate the other one with my magnetic wand. Which I will have to call into service. Now I can put the cover on. I was hoping the screw would have fallen on the table, but it's not there. So this is pretty simple. It's just a matter of lining it up and letting the tabs get where they need to go. There we go. So everything's clicked into place and nothing broke. So that's always a good thing. Now I've got two screws, one up here and one over here. Now what's going on with this one? Okay, so I got to go a little angle from behind. Kind of like that. So that one's in. And so is that one. I mean, we're doing good, huh? All we need now is that one. And here we go, that goes over there, like that. There. We'll get the screw. And that's snug. Yippee. We'll get the foot. Just like that. Now we'll get that needle. And the flat goes to the back. Oh yeah, I tightened that up, so I gotta loosen that somewhat. It's kind of convenient because there's a blue dot on the front. So that's how you're able to make sure that you put the right one in. Beautiful. Now all I need is my bobbin. Which I have right here. And it goes in counterclockwise, just like that, like the letter P. Drop it in. Put it in the slot, the slanted slot. And then bring it up like that. Okay, now I'm going to thread this puppy, and here's the number 1 thread guide, here's number 2, and then going down there is 3, coming back up here is 4, and going down there is 5. Heard it click in, felt it click in, take it up. That is a little tight. So that's an issue. I'm going to have to release that. Okay, we'll try that again. We're in the first one. We're in the second one. We're coming down 3, going up 4, up at the top 5, and then back down between the discs to the first thread guide. Roger that. Now to the second thread guide. Roger that. And now I'm going to thread the needle. Okay, I got the needle threaded. So all I got to do is go down and catch the white bobbin thread. And the presser foot is up for this job. There I could see catch it. And there it is there. There. We're threaded. So we are threaded. And we'll do a little test. Sweet. Orange thread on top, white thread on the bottom from the bobbin. Nice. So there it is. There's the movie, the video. We got the covers back on and we got the sewing machine working. Thanks for hanging out here, you guys. Hope you made it through. I did. And we'll be trying something else next time. Stay safe. Have fun. Adios, amigos.